Okay, so continuing on with division, we're going to do a very specific case of division where the denominator is going to look of the form x minus c. So what that means is it's going to look like this, f of x over g of x. But in particular, we're looking for the one that looks like this. So the bottom is going to be a two-term polynomial where it has an x and a c. Notice there's no number in the front of the x either. Okay? So if there is a number in front of the x, you actually have to factor that out first. But what we really want it to look like is this x minus c over here. So here, if we have a problem like this where we have some polynomial on the top and the polynomial on the bottom is the input variable minus the number, this right here is going to be our c value because q minus c, everything lines up. Okay, so that 5 is going to be our c value. What this is going to do is it's going to allow us to do a special type of division, which is called synthetic division. And it's a very fast, systematic way of doing division where you don't have to go through all those tedious steps of the long division system. So what you're going to do is you're going to write the c value out here, which we already said was 5. And what you're going to do is you're going to make this little box. And you're going to write the constants of the numerator in the top. Now, this is another reason why you need to remember to have those zeros in the top. So remember when we were missing the q squared, we'd write 0q squared or 0q. It's because you need to also write the zeros out in here if necessary. So in this case, we don't need it. What we're going to do is going to write the constants that are in front of each of the variables, make sure that it's in descending order, cubed, squared, first power, 0 power, and then 1, negative 10, 20, 26. And the procedure to solve this is 1, bring down that first number. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take that number and multiply it to the c value, which is 5. Once you do that, you bring it up and write it underneath the next one, and continue the process. So these two numbers, what you're going to do is you're going to add them together to get minus 5. And then again, multiply these two together to get minus 25. Add straight down, just getting minus 5. Multiply these two together, you get minus 25. And then lastly, add straight down 1. There's a couple of ways to write out the solution. The way that I do it makes it so that you don't have to think very much. So we still write f of x over g of x. In this case, it's going to be, sorry, this is f of q, g of q. What we have is q cubed minus 10q squared plus 20q plus 26, all divided by q minus 5. This is going to be equal to, and the way that I do it is I start from the right-hand side and then go up. So 1, this one is going to be minus 5, and then x. So it always goes remainder first, constant term, variable with the first power, variable with the second power. And again, these are q's. Okay. And the remainder, just like before, is always divided by the g. Now you can do it the other way by reading it from left to right. And the way that you do that is you look at the degree of the top, which is 3. And then you start going down by minus 1. So this will have the q squared. This will have the q, this will have the constant, and then the remainder. So it'll give you the same thing because the degree of the quotient will always be 1 less than the numerator. So let's do one more problem. So this problem is all over the place, right? So the first thing you need to do is rewrite it into the correct form. So we want it in descending order. And we want the numerator to have the variable at the front. So n plus 1. So remember, our c value, remember, is supposed to be n minus c. So really, what I need to do is convert n plus 1 as n minus negative 1. So that it's in this form, n minus c. So our c value here is actually negative 1. And that goes on the outside. There are no missing exponents, right? It goes 3, 2, 1, and then 0. So we can just write out the constants that are in front of each of those. And follow the same procedure. Bring the number down first, multiply them, add them together, multiply them, add straight down, which is going to be 14, multiply to the negative 1, and then add straight down again. So we're going to start on the right-hand side, which is negative 10 divided by n plus 1. 14, constant, negative 6x, negative 6n, and then n squared. And this is negative 5n squared plus n cubed plus 8n plus 4, all divided by 1 plus